Here is an EOAlive Grande story.
This first story is brought to you by Rock & Sons Tire and Auto, your local auto repair shop.
The Center for Human Development has a new medication-assisted treatment program which includes the use of Suboxone, a medication used to reduce withdrawal symptoms and risk of overdose as a part of its addiction treatment services.
Treatment with Suboxone can reduce withdrawal symptoms and lower the risk of overdose. The buprenorphine in Suboxone is a partial opioid agonist. As an opioid, it still produces analgesia and euphoria, but as a partial agonist, these effects are felt to a lower extent than with full opioid agonists. Furthermore, the opioid effects of buprenorphine increase with each dose increase until they reach a ceiling at moderate doses where even if the dose is increased, the effects do not. This lowers the risk of buprenorphine being abused and of side effects, making it a vital substitute for heroin or other full opioid agonists to help individuals addicted to opioids as they begin their detoxification.
Opioid addiction is a growing problem nationwide and is not limited to one form. There may be a lot of stigma and assumptions about how an opioid addiction starts. But the truth is, many people who suffer from an opioid addiction may have started with opioids that were prescribed to them as treatment for pain or certain diseases. They may have developed a dependency while using their prescription after taking them for a long time or at a higher dose than prescribed.
The total number of opioid-related deaths in this country was 5 times higher in 2016 than 1999. This epidemic is killing thousands of Americans each year, and the death toll keeps rising. What is important for you to know about opioids? Opioids are a class of medication used to treat many different types of pain. You could be prescribed an opioid, which might have the name of Oxycontin, Vicodin, Percocet, codeine, and you could be prescribed these things after surgery or an injury. Your doctor may suggest stronger versions, like fentanyl, if you have cancer pain. In the short term, these medications can be used safely and do their job without causing problems. It's when people start using them for longer periods of time or at higher doses that it might be time to start worrying about the risks of dependency and addiction. People say they feel wonderful when they first take it. After the euphoria, people say they're relaxed, mellow, drowsy. Some describe a rush of really pleasant feelings. All opioids, whether they are prescribed or an illegal substance, are very addictive. Feeling so good for a short period of time is an escape from suffering, and being relaxed and pain-free for several hours afterwards is even better. People don't want the feeling to end. Problem is, when the drug wears off, withdrawal starts. People feel agitated and anxious. They start sweating, trembling, feeling their muscles ache all over. Sounds like a bad case of the flu. People hate it, and it makes their pain feel worse. They take the drug again, and they feel better. And this is how the cycle of dependency and addiction starts.
To help those suffering from opioid addictions in Union County, CHD is now offering a medication-assisted treatment program, or M.A.T program for short, which provides personalized supportive counseling and special medications to help users come off of their opioid addiction. As mentioned before, one of the most notable medications is Suboxone, which is designed to reduce withdrawal symptoms and risk of overdose.
Anybody can develop an opioid addiction, and many people who develop an addiction may feel afraid or stigmatized to reach out because they feel they've done something wrong. Jamie Rodigario, the M.A.T program coordinator, says this is not the case. And CHD is helping people who suffer from opioid addictions feel less ashamed about their addiction and encourage them to reach out for help. Here's Jamie to talk more about the M.A.T program and what they aim to do.
A lot of concerns come forward about, if I go seek help, I'm going to have comments and also the shame. There's a lot of individuals who they don't want to seek out the help because they have this shame, this feeling of I did something wrong, and that's not the case. So we really want, like I said, to make sure that we shine a light on this. We want to say, let's talk about it. Let's not have it be the monster in a corner where, you're afraid that there's a monster there, but you don't have a light to look at. Let's shine the light so we can look at it and have an idea of what it is. Harm reduction as a whole is a philosophy. It's where you're working with the individual to reduce the harm, basically. So in this program, we're working with the individual to meet them where they're at specifically. So if an individual, for example, needs to, work with a peer, they're going to work with a peer to get that assistance. If they need assistance, that's what harm reduction is. It's really meeting that individual where they're at. It's working to really reduce the harms.
If you or a loved one is suffering from an opioid addiction, there is hope and there are resources available to you. You can call CHD at 541-562-HOPE to get help and more information.